president for the WBC.
Okay.
Before the fight with Tio got made, I called him and we had a conversation. I said, I want to move up, but I want to move back down.
Shakur Stevenson breaks his silence and expresses his gripe with the WBC. He explains what went on that had him a lightweight champion, but then the belt was taken away. And he's explaining from his perspective what went on there. In this video, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, Shakur did an interview on the podcast really explaining his grievances as far as what went on and why he's no longer a champion at lightweight per the WBC.
The president for the WBC.
Okay.
Before the fight with Tio got made, I called him.
Okay, I got to stop right there. What the heck is hum? This bothers me. Maybe it's my OCD or something, but I always hear Shakur say hum. I know several people from Brick City, Jersey City, Patterson, Newark. I never heard anybody say hum. And so it's not like an East Coast thing, like slang I'm not up with. I never heard this whole hum thing. And Shakur is a great fighter, but you got to work on your microphone skills. You know what I mean? I'm a rapper. I was rapping, writing poetry, lyrics before I ever did anything in the boxing world. So I'm just very keen on linguistics, vernacular, speech, the words you use, et cetera, et cetera. So don't mind me. It just bothers me because particularly this new generation, they can't speak, a lot of them, or at least in boxing. It's like ninja this, ninja that, cuss word, cuss word, cuss word. And they can't really like, it just makes it like almost unwatchable for me. I don't have any problem with cussing or slang or whatever, but it's like you have to be able to formulate your sentences a bit better where it can't just be filler. Ego rant over.
The president for the WBC.
Okay.
Before the fight with Tio got made, I called him and we had a conversation. I said, I want to move up, but I want to move back down for the Tio fight.
Mm-hmm.
He agreed. He didn't say nothing about no money, no nothing. After...
Hold on. That sounds like cap right there. Now, y'all know me on the channel. I have not been an apologist to anybody. I keep it real. I've taken shots at the WBC when they did certain things, like how they handled Wilder Fury Glovegate, when they increased the level of clenbuterol you can have in your system to accommodate a cheater in Canelo Alvarez, right, who had failed, and Eric Morales, who had popped dirty, different Mexican fighters. And then they said, oh, man, it's the meat or whatever, right? So I've definitely gave the WBC ish for how they've handled certain situations. So y'all know me. The sanctioning bodies aren't perfect, and I'm quick to call it out. However, this don't really sound like it makes sense. You're on a podcast, right? You literally said, hey, I want to move up, and I told the WBC president, Mauricio Suleiman, before the TO fight, I'm moving to 40 for this fight. I want to move back down to 35 after. You just said that he agreed, an agreement, but then you follow up saying he didn't say anything. So how does one not say anything, but then they agreed? How did you agree silently? That don't even make sense to me, right? If somebody asks you a question and you remain silent, that don't mean you agree. Like if the cops are interrogating you and they're like, did you shoot this person? And you don't say anything, that don't mean like, yes. That's not an answer. So Shakur just said he called him and he didn't say anything, yet he agreed. Shakur got to do better on the mic, bro.
I called him and we had a conversation. I said, I want to move up, but I want to move back down for the Tio fight.
Mm-hmm.
He agreed. He didn't say nothing about no money, no nothing.
He agreed, but he didn't say nothing about no money or nothing. So you just thought it was going to be free? Even though they have sanctioning fees and stuff, he didn't tell you anything, but he agreed. It don't make any sense.
After a couple of weeks in, after the fight got announced and stuff, he started emailing about $120,000. Mind you, I already paid $60,000 for keeping my belt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why the fuck would I pay double now because I'm moving up and you don't have nothing to do with my fight? But after that, we answered to the emails, we asked him, but I really know like he started beefing with Bud Crawford.
Right.
And that's when $120,000
So basically he's saying that Crawford's beef with the WBC when Crawford ranted about the WBC was the real reason that they were asking for $120 or $120K from him. Let your boy ego cook, bro. Okay. So this what is being said is not making any sense. Let me explain. Please let me explain. Okay. So you said he agreed, but he didn't say anything. Makes no sense. But here's the thing. Shakur has this like almost like woe is me type of attitude. Like, oh man, y'all don't get boxing. It's always him as like almost like the victim in these certain situations. And the reality is, let me just put this down. You are aligned with people, including but not limited to Turkey, right? Who is in charge of the Saudi payroll that have them in boxing right now, who's in charge of Zuffa, TKO, you know what I mean? Zuffa, Dana White. So you're aligned with those same people. And I've already went over this with Jai Opataya in the video I did there. You can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Meaning you can't diss the sanctioning bodies and then expect mercy from them and expect them to do you any favors, right? Like Dana White was like, we're not going to recognize any of the sanctioning bodies, right? We're not. We're doing the Zuffa and the ring belt, and those are kind of interchangeable, but we're getting rid of the old guard. And then Jai Opataya, they said he got stripped, and then they got mad. Oh, man, what's up with the IBF? You can't have it both ways. Now, Shakur's not with Zuffa, but he's with Turkey, which is part of the same regime, right? And ever since Turkey and Zuffa kind of came out in TKO, then you started seeing the Terrence Crawfords of the world start saying they didn't really care about the belts and the belts don't make the fighter and that type of stuff. Keyshawn has done it, Terrence Crawford's done it, and Shakur Stevenson has done it. So notice these are all friends. They're all part of the same group, right? Now all of a sudden they don't care about belts. The whole time before they would say stuff like, "Oh, Tank, he's not really that dude because he ain't moved up the weight classes of me. He don't want to challenge himself. Legacy." But then now Shakur like, "F you, pay me. I don't care about the belts." Crawford, a week or so before he's about to retire, gets stripped of the WBC for not paying, and he like, y'all can keep y'all belt. If you don't see this as super political, I don't know what to tell you. So for me, I have absolutely no remorse, no regard, no sympathy for these individuals, because if you're going to take that stance like belts don't matter, I'm the champ, and I put butts in seats, or Zuffa and ring belt, they free and that's the only one that matter, then don't be surprised when these sanctioning bodies start stripping you and you don't want to play their game. They're not going to be accommodating to you. And then now you got Shakur, just like Crawford, complaining about the sanctioning fees, right? You're making probably more money than your actual market value, because the Saudis are big spenders with certain fighters, right? So you're already winning, but you don't want to pay the $120K, which has always been a thing, to pay 3% or whatever you guys deem is necessary. So I don't really have any mercy or regard for these fighters who want it both ways. You want the accolades and, oh, I'm undisputed and I want legacy, but then the people who have been in the sport that'll help you achieve legacy, like the Sugar Ray Leonards or the Floyds and the Pacquiaos and stuff like that. You're trying to front on them in certain ways. You're like, oh, where's their money going to? Now all of a sudden you're asking all these questions about if the money's being used right and this and that. But these are the same individuals like Crawford. You don't care that you're working with Daniel Kinahan and his reputation. So that don't bother you, but you need transparency for Al Heyman and you want to see the books to fight Errol Spence. Now all of a sudden you have integrity, right? The Kinahan part, you don't care. You're like, yeah, I'll work with him. Now you want to see where the WBC is using the money and stuff. But why don't you ask Turkey, what happened to that journalist over there? Why don't you ask, like, what Kinahan's up to? You see what I'm saying? So it's like the boxing game is fake, bruh.